So you're getting ready to tie the knot. Congratulations! But let's be real for a second. Is the thought of dealing with government paperwork already giving you a massive headache? Look, a single missing document can literally stop your wedding in its tracks, and nobody wants that. Let's dive right into this explainer and make absolutely sure your big day is legally bulletproof. We're going to break down exactly how to get married in the first state. Whether you're a lifelong Delaware resident or you're planning a gorgeous destination wedding right on the coast, this guide is going to give you every single detail you need to know.
We all know wedding planning can be incredibly stressful, right? I mean, between booking the caterer, locking down the venue, and finalizing that endless guest list, the absolute last thing you want is some random legal snafu ruining your perfect day. But hey, here's the good news. Choosing Delaware for your legal procedures is actually a massive relief. It is incredibly straightforward if you just know the rules going in.
In fact, Delaware is a super popular choice for tying the knot, even for out-of-state couples. And it's easy to see why when you look at these perks. You've got a super quick 24-hour waiting period, there are absolutely no blood tests required, and you don't even need to be a state resident. Plus, here's a real game changer. Delaware has no state sales tax. So think about it. That means tax-free wedding supplies, tax-free decor, and tax-free catering services. That is a huge financial win for your wedding budget.
Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, getting started in Delaware. Second, eligibility and required documents. Third, the in-person application. Fourth, fees and special circumstances. Fifth, from license to ceremony. And finally, number 6, final tips and disclaimer. Let's jump in.
Section 1. Getting started in Delaware, your first steps. Before you do anything else, you need to understand what you're actually applying for. A marriage license in Delaware is a legally mandated, county-issued document that actually authorizes your wedding ceremony to take place. Now, while state law sets the overarching rules for this, the data step administration is actually decentralized. That means you'll be dealing directly with one of 3 independent county clerks of the peace: Newcastle, Kent, or Sussex County. And the great thing is, a license obtained in any of these 3 counties is totally valid anywhere within the state borders. Moving right along to Section 2, eligibility and required documents. What you need. First and foremost, let's talk age. 18. This is a hard and fast rule. You see, Delaware actually made history back in 2018 by becoming the very first U.S. state to completely ban child marriage. This means both applicants absolutely must be at least 18 years of age. There are literally 0 exceptions to this. Having parental consent or even a judge's permission will not override this statutory minimum.
Now, you might actually be a little surprised by the sheer amount of biographical data you're going to need to provide. Obviously, you'll need a valid photo ID, like a driver's license, passport, or military ID. But because Delaware maintains a very detailed historical registry, you also need to know your parents' full legal names. And yes, that includes your mother's maiden name. You'll also need to know their birth states or countries, and where they currently live. If you don't know all this off the top of your head, definitely do that quick family research before you start applying.
Okay, if this isn't your first time at the altar, listen closely. You have to officially establish the legal dissolution of all prior unions. You must bring the original or certified final divorce or annulment decree signed by a judge or a certified death certificate if you're widowed. And here is a major pitfall where people get tripped up. Photocopies are strictly rejected. Do not bring a photocopy, guys. You also need to know the exact dates, month, day, and year that any and all prior marriages ended.
Section 3. The in-person application, making it official.
So what does the actual mandatory workflow look like? Well, you can't just get married entirely online in Delaware. While many counties, like Newcastle, require you to pre-apply online to speed up the initial data entry, Step 3 is completely non-negotiable. Both partners must appear together in person at the clerk's office to verify identities and actually sign the physical paperwork. No exceptions. Section 4. Fees and special circumstances, county quirks.
Let's talk money. The base cost is a total flat fee of $70, but that's only if at least one of you is a Delaware resident. If you're both coming in from out of state, that fee jumps up to $120. So if you've got a Delaware ID, absolutely make sure you bring it because that proof of residency will save you a solid $50.
And you really need to watch out for county-specific quirks. For instance, notice how Kent County requires strictly cash. If you show up there with just your credit card, you are completely out of luck. Meanwhile, Sussex County offers this really fantastic perk. They completely waive all marriage license fees for active-duty U.S. military personnel and veterans. You just have to bring a copy of your DD-214 form. The takeaway here: always check your specific county's rules before you head out the door.
Just a quick note on language accommodations.
All your legal documents must either be in English or have a certified translation attached. Also, if you aren't a fluent English speaker, you are legally required to bring your own independent interpreter, and they must be at least 18 years old. Now, Sussex County does have a Spanish-speaking deputy on staff, which is great, but otherwise, providing that translator is entirely on you.
Oh, and I absolutely love sharing this fantastic legal update. Historically, if you were on probation or parole, you basically had to jump through all these bureaucratic hoops and get written permission from a supervising officer just to get married. But a recent law, taking effect in late 2025, modernized the whole system and completely removed this restriction. It's a huge hurdle cleared for so many couples out there.
Section 5. From license to ceremony, the ticking clock.
Timing is literally everything with this process. Once you apply and the clerk hands you that license, you instantly enter a mandatory 24-hour waiting period, meaning no, you cannot get married the exact same day. After those 24 hours are finally up, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 30 days to actually have your ceremony. If day 31 rolls around and you haven't tied the knot, the license expires, it's void, and you have to start the whole process all over again. Oh, and remember, the ceremony itself must happen physically inside Delaware's borders.
When it finally comes to the ceremony itself, you basically have two main paths. You can go with a highly regulated in-office civil ceremony performed by the clerk of the peace. It's very affordable, but it's strictly limited to about 10 or 12 guests. Plus, there's absolutely no food, no drinks, and no dressing rooms allowed. The other option? You can have a beautiful off-site ceremony anywhere in the state. Just keep in mind, if you're dreaming of a beach or state park wedding, you need to handle those local municipal permits early on.
And if you do go with that off-site ceremony, there are strict legal requirements you have to follow. Your officiant must be properly registered with the local clerk of the peace. They can't just use a generic secular title like officiator or Mr. on the official paperwork. They need specific, recognized credentials. Furthermore, Delaware law mandates that your ceremony be witnessed by at least 2 people who are 18 or older, and both of them must have valid ID on them.
Section 6. Final tips and disclaimer. Ensuring success.
We are in the home stretch, folks. Let's wrap this up with some easily solvable hurdles so your application process is a breeze. Number 1, do not arrive at the clerk's office under the influence of drugs or alcohol. They are legally required to reject you on the spot. Number 2, triple check that you have your original raised sealed documents. Number 3, watch that ticking clock and don't let that 30-day window expire. And finally, once the ceremony's over and the champagne is popped, do not forget to have your officiant return the executed license to the clerk's office. If they don't return it, your marriage isn't legally recorded.
Standard disclaimer time. While this explainer provides a super comprehensive overview, you know how government works? Administrative rules and exact fees can and do shift over time. So always do yourself a favor and double-check the latest details directly with your specific county's clerk of the peace before you actually head to your appointment.
You are now fully equipped to navigate Delaware's marriage license process like an absolute pro. You've got all the info to cut right through that bureaucratic red tape. So, with the legal stuff completely out of the way, the only real question left to ponder is this: are you truly ready for the realities of marriage itself? Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and happy wedding planning.